Hello, welcome to A Time to Think, volume 07.02, update 1. Okay, in 07.02, I think I'm talking a little bit about sin, alcohol consumption, those kinds of things, how drinking is not a sin, drinking too much is a sin, eating is not a sin, eating too much is a sin. Sort of that, to everything there is a season, turn, which I believe is based on a chapter in, is it Ecclesiastes? A time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to... Anyway, I have to go back and read that at some point. It's a beautiful read. But the long and short of it is, I'm talking a little bit about alcohol consumption, and it isn't a sin. I mean, if Jesus turned water into wine, Jesus was not a drug pusher. He didn't tempt people to sin. He told them not to sin. He said, "Go and sin no more." There may be cases in history and God's dealings with individuals where He allows Satan to tempt them as, I don't know, test or to I don't know. I don't have a good example at the moment, but I'm sure, if God chose, to allow, and I don't think people need a whole lot of tempting. I mean, boy, they're pretty much primed for it. People just really want to go their own way, do their own thing, sin, because that's our very nature. That's who we are as human beings. We're thinking of the physical, because we're physical beings. We're thinking of the, oh, how good the food is, and oh, it feels so good to drink a glass of wine, and hey, 2 glasses are better, and oh wow, if I just half the bottle and I'm just relaxed, and and I'm not saying you can't drink, and I'm sure if you drink, at some point you'll probably drink a little too much, and that's just part of it, I guess. Hopefully you won't be killed on driving down the road and you're intoxicated, which you don't ever drive after you've drank alcohol, of course. I mean, you can have a Pepsi, or you're gonna have a Yoo-hoo and drive all day. Well, I don't know about all day. You might need something with caffeine in it. I don't think Yoo-hoo has caffeine. But anyway, not that it matters. I'm getting off topic, which is not unusual for this fat little man. Anyway, but I think I need to emphasize this. Okay, sure, drinking is not a sin. Drinking alcohol is not a sin. Drinking too much is. But I want to warn anybody and everybody out there, particularly those that are younger maybe, that haven't drank, that much, but, it is incredibly easy to drink too much. You drink a little and you're like, well, that's you feel kind of relaxed, and you kind of, hey, this is nice, and and your mind just keeps telling you, hey, if that much, you feel kind of good, you double it and you're going to feel double as good. You're going to feel twice as good. And the problem is that it, after a point, then it's like, see, alcohol kind of reduces your inhibitions. It kind of like, it's almost like you're giving yourself license to say whatever the dickens comes into your head, and you'll do things that you wouldn't normally do. You might say, hey, I can jump off this bridge. I mean, the water's close. I'll be all right. Hey, you do things that you wouldn't normally do. You don't think as clearly, I guess. Maybe you're kind of those little safeguards that are telling you, well, it's probably not a good idea to, jump off the top of that building, because you aren't going to bounce. It's going to hurt. You could very well die, etc., etc. So I think the thing I want to say is that anyone out there who has not gotten to a point where they can have a small amount of wine or whatever, and just relax and then stop. If you have one of those personalities, I call them an addictive personality, which Lord knows I do. If you can't have a glass of wine and then stop and not drink anymore, even though it's sitting there, and more would probably make you feel even better, but then at some point it's going to be too much and you're going to be sick as a dog, and so on and so on. If you're not to a point in your life where you can drink a little and stop yourself, and when it becomes the most important thing, when you can't seem to stop at one drink, when you just have to drink more and more and more and more, it's just best not to start. It's best to never ever start. Just don't. Seriously. Like I said, it's not a sin, but it's so easy for it to become one, for it to become a life-altering, destructive, damaging. Just please, I'm begging you. If you can go through your life without ever drinking, or if you can have 2 beer when you're on the lake with your buddies, or whatever, and then you stop, or whatever, great. If you get drunk once, twice, whatever, fine. But when you start feeling that that's what matters most to you, when it's one of those things where you're rushing home just to have that drink, or whatever, you need to stop, slow down, think about this. It can become a horrible thing when you can't control it, and it is way too easy to lose control. Probably more than just pretty much anything, it's dangerous. So just be safe, please. You know who you are. I know who I am. Never again. Never, ever, never again. Never. Guarantee it. NyQuil, maybe if I'm really sick, but after that, nothing. Anyway. Oh, one other little note I had was that the book, the last book of the New Testament is Revelation, not Revelations, plural. It's Revelation singular. There's no S at the end. So I wanted to throw that out there in case someone thought I'd forgotten to check. Anyway, all right. Well, that's pretty much it for the day. I hope you all have a good one. And it's getting close to dinner time. So anyway, I might just head on in a minute. Anyway, have a good day.